one there of the Battle Pass. That is the Fluffy Bounder mount. Very, very great stuff there. We're going to head and move on to a new ability, Alex, the Skull of Chaos.
Yes, so we are kind of sticking with the trend. You know, the last ability was another kind of skull shape that moved forward, and we had this new one too. So it's this idea that you're going to throw out this massive skull projectile screaming at you, or it's going to be with this wide mouth, and then you're going to hit the ground and it's going to bounce around and look for enemies. It's going to look for targets.
Gotcha. So an automatically targeting. And there it is. You know, a little bit of room for wiggle room there at the end of the day. Bounces off all surfaces?
Yes.
Cool.
And then when you're... And
pretty good damage, too.
Pretty good damage. That's at Legendary. So we're going to see it... Yeah. You get a little... If you get a group, this is yes.
Yeah.
Skull of Chaos, because sometimes
this is the duo destroyer.
Yes. So you toss that into a room, you're like, I know people are in there. I need to... look at this. Look at this. Our player.
Information gathering, you know, vision control.
Exactly.
What doesn't the Skull of Chaos bring to the battlefield?
You know what? The only thing is maybe in a solo game you might not find the utility as strong, but it's still the legendary damage is going to do enough. But this is definitely a duo squad beast.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So really, if you see someone with that running at you in squads, you want to split up, not stand next to your buddy.
Yeah, because there is a radius, right, Andy? Like it will disengage. So if you're far apart, it's not going to just snap to you across the map. Like you've got to be pretty close.
Time for the tough questions, Alex. What class do I have to be to get this ability?
The tough answer? None.
It just keeps getting better and better.
You just get this.
The deal keeps on a sweetening.
Yeah. So again, like the last ability, we're going to keep these for the moment. Or let's do some non-class abilities. We can have everyone, like no matter what you're playing, get in there, throw it around.
So, question for me. It looks like it's hitting 5 times. So is that 4 bounces? Am I counting that right? And then also I want to see, does bouncing off the wall consume one of the bounces, or does it not start its like I'm doing damage timer until it smacks somebody? So it doesn't look like it is.
It can bounce twice in the world, but once it finds a target, it'll still bounce the same number of times between players.
Gotcha.
If there's no one else nearby after it hits a player, it'll just disappear.
Yes, and there's another piece of this that we won't be able to see in this, but when you guys get to it in live, check it out. So between each bounce, it slows down a little bit. And in our playtesting,
I kind of see that.
Yeah, in our playtesting, you have moments where that last person is moving away from it, and you have the skull slowly chasing you. It's pretty cinematic.
So it'll track the target slowly. So if it's chasing you, you can jump behind walls and stuff to prevent it from hitting you.
It's just a life or death game of Pac-Man at that point.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're all about here. So I'm really stoked about this ability. It's great.
Very, very cool stuff. Off the top of your head, do you cooldown levels? Do we know any of that type of stuff yet?
The cooldown starts on the high end at 20, and it moves all the way down to 12.
Perfect.
So our legendary, we're at about 12 seconds base.
Cool stuff, guys. So again, this is, all classes can use this. This is not a class-specific ability. Everybody, no matter what you main, will be able to pick this one up and rock it and roll it in the realm. Very cool new feature. I'm pretty excited about.
Yep.
Something that I think will make things a little bit more readable. Andy, combined damage numbers. Player will now have the ability to have their damage numbers combined when dealing damage to enemy players within a short period of time.
Yeah, so one of the things, I spend a lot of time in streams, and I saw a couple streamers complaining about just the difficulty of reading how much damage you did to a person. So there's 2 parts of that. One of them is for high hit rate weapons.
Yeah.
They kind of just spewed numbers everywhere.
It's like a shredder or something like that. You're just like,
what it was doing.
I feel like I'm doing really good.
Yeah. So that was the first step I wanted to try to solve, was basically just making it so it's very clear exactly how much you're doing. So as you can see, when you do damage within like a 1/4 of a second or so within each other, it'll put it into the same display. The other side of that is armor versus shield damage, where before if they had like 300 armor and you did like 1,200 damage, it would just be red 1,200. So you think you did health damage, even though you did a bunch of armor damage. So now it'll actually split those up into different entries. So you'll see like a yellow 300 and then like a red 900.
Gotcha.
So you know exactly how much damage you did of each type.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Make it a little bit more readable, and you can see there was a sort of delay there in between. If that one damage number goes away, you will kind of just reset the counter.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this looks great. I think it's going to really help players with the readability.
Yeah, and if you like the old way, you can go into the settings and change it to per hit instead of combined, and then it's the same thing as we used to have.
There you go. I mean, it was in the gameplay settings for those of you that are curious. For those of you that may prefer the old way, you love seeing a lot of damage numbers as opposed to the one condensed.
But now the old way will split armor and shield damage.
Oh, there you go. Still improvements for all at the end of the day. That type of stuff is great just for information, right? Knowing exactly how much damage you've done. You know how much